The word exclusive means what? Does anybody know when you say exclusively?
Like VIP only, exclusive. Like exclusive event.
Separate, by itself, whatever. In math, with this probability of mutually exclusive event simply means that two things can't happen at the same time. Two events that cannot occur at the same time. Two events that cannot occur at the same time. At the same time. Okay. If that's the case for exclusive, then inclusive would be events that could happen at the same time. Events that could happen at the same time. And in order to give you like an example of that, let's draw this down and you put it in your notes so you have it here. Let's say you're shaking two dice. Let's see if I can get this down here. There's 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. And then we've got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, oops, a 6. I should have erased a little bit here. I gave you this little chart last year. You probably didn't keep it, but maybe you did. Okay, on top here, here's dice number 1 on this top row. You can either roll a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. And here's dice number 2 going down. You could roll a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. Here are your possible answers then. In other words, if you roll a 1 and a 1, you can get a 2, right? If you roll a 1 and a 2, you get a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just wait, I'll explain it after I get this all written. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The blue numbers in the box are all the possibilities. If you roll a 1 on one dice and a 1 on the other dice, you get a 2. That's the smallest thing. When you roll 2 dice, the smallest number you can get is a 2. Okay, if you roll a 2 on one and a 2 on the other, they cross there at 4. That means you get a 4. You have 36 combinations there. Okay? But you have to know there's a whole bunch of different ways to get 6s, there's a whole bunch of ways to get 7s, a whole bunch of different ways to get 8. There's only one way to get a 12, one way to get a 1. That's just understanding the table there. We haven't done anything with it, but that's how the table works, right? Alright, if I ask you to find the probability of rolling a 6 or an 11, the probability of rolling a 6 or an 11, okay? You cannot roll a 6 and an 11 at the same time. I mean, when you roll the dice, it's either going to be a 6 or an 11. This is exclusive. Okay, this is exclusive probability. Because when you roll a dice, you can't get a 6 and an 11 at the same time. Okay? And the probability, the way to find probability of that is you just add the probability of rolling a 6 plus the probability of rolling an 11. If it's exclusive, you just add the two probabilities together. Add the probs together. Now, if I ask you the question here, what is the probability of rolling a 6? Probability of rolling a 6? Well, first of all, there's 36 combos here. How many of them are 6s? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the probability of rolling a 6 is 5 out of 36. Okay, if that would actually work. Maybe I'll do it down here somewhere. Probability of a 6 is 5 out of 36. Probability of rolling a 11, how many 11s are there? 2 out of 36. The probability of doing both of those back to back, the probability of rolling either one of those is this added to this. 536 and 236 is 736. You have a 736 probability when you roll a dice of getting either a 6 or an 11. Okay? Now you're saying, what about that inclusive events? All right, well here, this would be an example of inclusive. I don't know where to put it because I don't have any room.
Do a box.
I can do a box. I'm all about the box. Let's just do it right here. Oh, anyway, try this. If I asked you the probability, Nolan,
I found out you're really not large in charge,
I know.
so I spoke to those that are.
About what issue?
Jeez,
Oh. That more than
you're not allowed, you have to be,
Mr. Morgan does all the time.
that's the.
I wouldn't say all the time.
How often do you stream though?
Right,
Oh. But in that case, never mind.
Alright.
Can we have sweatpants day on Friday?
yeah, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
If you are looking for the probability of this, what is the probability of rolling an odd number or a sum of 8? Probability, well, let's just do it. Probability of an odd number or the sum of 8. Or an 8. Or the probability of rolling 8. Sorry, we need to write that better. Probably of odd or an 8. Okay? Now this is inclusive because there are some of them that overlap. Because you can roll an odd number and it can be an 8 when you roll it. And that's what inclusive means. They can happen at the same time. You can roll an odd number and an 8. Okay? And the probability of that is this. You need to do the same thing you did before. It's the probability of rolling an odd number plus the probability of rolling an 8. But then you have to subtract the times when you get an odd number and an 8 minus the probability when it happens at the same time. In other words, look at all the times. How many times can you roll an odd number and get an 8 if you're looking at our thing here? Well, you could have a 5 and a, let me get a different color here. Here's an odd number and an 8. Here's an odd number and an 8. Here's an odd number and an 8. Here's an odd number and 8. There's no other ones. Okay? So twice on the table, 2 times, 2 out of 36, sorry. Let's make that black. So 2 out of the 36 times it's an odd number and an 8. But I take that away from, what is my probability of an odd number? How many odd numbers do I have on this table?
have to, what is it,
I guess I should have said it the way the book said it too. The probability of rolling at least one odd number. Probability of rolling at least one odd number. Well, take a look at all the times when you roll at least one odd number. So anything that has a 1, a 3, let me show you this. At least one odd number, well, that rules out anytime you roll a 1 on any die, that means all these are gone. All these are gone, all these are gone, and then rolling an odd number here, all these are gone, all these are gone, all these are gone. How many squares are left that you could have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is City Code. So 9 out of, oh wait, that's the other way, isn't it? I said you wanted to roll an odd number, right? So if you wanted to roll a number, it'd be the opposite of that, which is 27 out of 36. Why is this not going? An odd number is
exclusively.
27 out of 36. How many 8s are there? How many ways to roll an 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you add those two together, you get 32 out of 36, but then you have to subtract the times when it actually overlaps. So 30 out of 36, which is what, 15 over 18, or 15 over 18, which is what, 5 over 6? 5, 6 probability. This gets a little on the confusing side, I'm sure that was. Oh look, I actually got it.
We didn't have chart with it.
Yeah, well, the chart, and that's why you really need charts. Let's do a practice thing and see if we can come up with something here, because this actually does get, yeah, very much.
You don't just have to count over the
Open your books and look at page 446. Now the question is, Ron, I was going to say look at problem letter C. Sometimes this isn't. A digital music player randomly selects a song from a group of 12 rock, 12 pop, 5 country, and 3 alternative artists. What's the probability that the music player selects either a rock or an alternative song? I don't think, do any of those overlap? I don't think they do. Rock and alternative are supposed to be separate, right?
Yeah, how would they?
They're all on different stations.
Yeah, they're all on different stations. So is this exclusive or inclusive? Exclusive. You can't pick one that's the same as the other. So if you're looking for that probability, first of all, you gotta find out how many different choices do you have? How many, there's 12 rock,
12 pop,
12 pop, that's 24,
5 country,
5 country,
3 alternative.
what's that, 29, 32. So your total choices are 32. You're gonna add the probabilities of getting each one together. How many were rock
12,
and how many were alternative?
3.
3. So the probability of mutually exclusive events is those added together, which is 15/30 seconds. And I believe that's the answer that the book has. I wanted to find one where they overlap a little. I don't want to do letter D, that's way too long. See if you can find one there in the book that has something to do with that.